All
Who am
right.
I?
Hello, and welcome to I'm Trying to Kill You. We're playing Alas for the Awful Sea today. It's been a little while, so I apologize for that. And I apologize if I'm a little rusty. But I feel like we're in a good place as far as our story goes. I'm your GM Ash. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And with me, I have 3 salty sea dogs that I would love it if they would introduce themselves. Emily, do you want to start?
Sure. Hi, I'm Emily. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm an artist and a filmmaker. Sometimes I also make art for games and draw portraits of role-playing game characters and things like that. You can follow me on Twitter, @BlackWoolSays. Sometimes I tweet during games when I remember.
Awesome. Derek.
I'm Derek. I am a member of the Dice Stormers. We're an internet group, a YouTube group that plays lots of role-playing games and have fun. You can follow us on Twitter. My pronouns are he, his, him, and I'm a game developer.
Cool. And Haley.
Hi, I'm Haley. My pronouns are she, her, and I am from Brewers. Story Brewers. I can say the name of my own role-playing
I'm
thing.
sure you can. We believe in you.
Yes. And we written this game with very good of the English.
You put words in it and everything.
Words. So many words. Perhaps too many.
Is it backwards?
Pretty good words. No, that's right for us.
Good.
It looks so good.
It is awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, considering that we ended on a bit of a dramatic note last time, would anyone like to give us just like, and we've had a bit of a break. Do we want to have a quick recap? Do we want to, as a team, see if we can retell the story? Just like not necessarily the whole story, just where we're up to, what the situation is.
I'm trying to remember, actually.
If people want to introduce their characters now, you can do that.
Sure. Yeah. I am playing Tristan Saller. He is a old sea dog. He is also a confidant, so he likes to find out people's secrets and collect them. And yeah, other than that, he's just kind of old. He's Welsh, but you have to imagine that part because I've learned that I'm bad at a Welsh accent. So just imagine a fantastic old man Welsh accent.
Excellent. Do you want to tell us about Charles? Do you want to tell us about yourself?
So I am Charles Underwood. I am a merchant in Alas for the Awful Sea, and I'm a godly man. I'm a believer. I preach the word and the word of God and live by it as well. I believe am I Catholic?
Yes, you're Catholic.
Because I'm all over the religion thing.
You know well about it.
Yeah. And he's very keen to set up a
An aeroplane.
school at this small village that we've inhabited.
Cool. Yeah, because there's going to be a school. It's going to happen. The question, I think, is who's in control of it. So
Yeah.
that's going to be good.
Is that gonna bug everyone?
Pardon?
Did you hear the plane that just went over here?
Yeah, but that's kind of unavoidable.
Okay.
Blythe.
Yeah, so I'm playing Blythe Cooper, who is the bosun of the ship, and also the outcast, due to her lack of husband and having a small son called Samson. And I seem to recall that one of the last things I remember happening in our last session was that after a long period of enmity between Charles and I, we finally had a conversation in which I admitted something that I was loath to admit, which was that I also heard the sounds in the night, and
That's right.
some weird shit has been going down.
That's right. Yes.
So,
Yeah, you talked about your nightmares. That's
yes,
right. Okay.
and the
Yeah.
general feeling of foreboding and everything.
And this was just after we had an experience in the bar, wasn't it? Where
Oh yeah.
one of the guys tried to have a fight with me, and
Politely had a drink with him.
and we sat down and had a drink with him, and
Christopher.
Christopher Potts?
Yeah, that's right. It was Christopher.
It was Potts?
Christopher Potts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you had a drink with him. You found out about him to a certain degree. Like, learned a bit about him.
Trying to remember what we learned.
Who has 4 sons,
Yeah.
all in sort of various criminal endeavours. And he's not a nice person, so
Has some sort of spurious plan to somehow get at Tristan.
Well, less that he wasn't necessarily. Oh, there was a trap that he was setting of some kind, but
Yeah.
more importantly, he is trying to woo my friend, and thinks that I am a competitor in that, and is hostile toward me for that reason. And I think, there was. And we went to see her too, didn't we, my friend?
You went to speak to Thorn. Yeah.
To Thorn, yeah.
You had a chat with her.
Yeah, and we had a good chat. And unfortunately, she seems to be warming to Christopher, which is concerning to me because he's obviously not a nice person.
Yeah, but he
I
buys
can
her
see that.
wine.
So it's concerning. I'm worried for her.
Look, she's a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I also seem to recall that my friend Sally tried to kill herself.
Oh yeah, that happened.
And that was I was like, something weird and creepy happened last session.
yeah.
That was the weird and creepy thing. Yeah.
Oh, was she the one? She went overboard, didn't she?
She jumped
Yeah,
overboard.
fell overboard.
Yeah. But there was something weird about that, like she wasn't in her right mind or something was weird, wasn't it? Like something
Yep.
was weird about her state.
Yep.
She's okay though, isn't she?
Yep. She's okay.
She survived, all right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's fine because I previously saw Winston hanging off a mast in a dream, but never mind about that.
Yeah, I'm sure that will never amount to anything.
Never come up again.
Yeah. Yep. So, I think the cut we left on last time was the do we have a name for the young doctor? For the young
Schoolmaster? Oh, I'm sure we do, but
We have a list
We
of
haven't-
most of the names here.
Yeah.
Hang on.
it should be there, shouldn't it?
I don't know if we ever gave him a name.
That would be weird.
We were thinking there was romance brewing between him and the good doctor.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, maybe we
I think
didn't.
he's been okay. So the young schoolmaster has burst into the tavern and said, and like yelled, "Someone's stolen my bicycle!" And to which like the barman replied, but to which like Potts is like, "What in the blazes is a bicycle?" The young schoolmaster explains that that's the name of his horse, which, on account of it didn't occur to me that bicycles hadn't been invented yet in the period that we're playing in. So he has a horse named Bicycle that has been stolen.
Good.
Yeah. So his bicycle, or rather his horse named Bicycle, has been stolen. Funny name for a horse. It's religious. But yeah, he's in quite a state. He's quite upset about the theft of his horse, Bicycle. And like immediately the read of the room is like there's a whole bunch of people in here who are like regulars and things that are just like, well, that's real bad. Like they would normally like up and like start doing something about a theft, especially of a horse. But they're just like, oh, that's real bad news. Drink.
Can I sense another's thoughts,
You
or
can have a crack at it. Who do you want to? What does it look like when? What are you doing?
well, I want to read the room, and I want to try and figure out why they're not leaping up to help him.
That sounds more like reading a situation.
Reading a situation.
If you want to, if there's a specific person that you're like getting at, and like you kind of have to be. It depends how much they're telegraphing. You could read their thoughts, but that's down to
No,
That's
it feels
down
like sense a situation is the better one. Read a situation.
Yep.
All right. Let me give that a go.
So I think you're rolling wisdom for that.
Brains.
Brains. Cool.
Did that work?
6. You have +0 in brains.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't really succeed in that.
Yeah. So he comes over and he's like, and he comes over to you, Charles, and is like, you there? You're quite well known around town. Have you heard anything? And like he starts like engaging you as if you're going to help him. And all of the guides that are like sitting there like being like are like eyeing you to see what happens.
A horse, you say? Well, where was the last place you left it?
Yeah, he's like, well, it always, I always keep it tied up in the stables, just outside. I'm staying with. Who's he staying with?
I don't know that it would be someone we've seen on screen.
I don't think so.
This could be someone associated with the Salvation Army. It's got to be like a church local. Or something.
Okay, cool, yeah. I'm staying with Mrs. Kellogg, and she's been quite accommodating, but unfortunately, it seems that her stable is not the safest. I accept that it's a little run down, but that's to be expected in this kind of area.
Rude.
What do you mean, this kind of area?
He's like, oh, simply the.
I say that loudly enough to make everybody hear.
Yeah, right. Cool. Tell me if you want this. Like, at which point in this conversation do you want to have an effect on the people in the room? But yeah, he's like, oh, simply that this area is very humble, and that it has a very full understanding of the ways of our Lord, and his belief that a rich man cannot pass into heaven. It is easier to feed a camel through the eye of a needle.
Well,
I think
a camel is kind of like a horse.
I'm going to shoot Blythe a significant look as player characters I want to do at this point. I sort of I think I look at Blythe and I give a wink, and then I like interrupt sort of before Charles even has a chance to respond, and I say that's very well put, my lad. Well, just so happens I have nothing to do for the afternoon, and I'd be very happy to help you look for your horse.
He's like, thank you. That would be very helpful. I assume that some local children are just having a prank, but it's very distressing. Bicycle has a weak stomach and needs a lot of care.
Well, let us go tour the poor streets of this humble town in order to find your horse.
Are you trying to make it look like you're like not on his sides, like you're on the town side? Is that
Yes.
do you want to roll for that?
All right.
I feel like that's a parlay. Is it a parlay in this? I can't remember what it's called.
Manipulate another.
Yeah, I feel like it's manipulating the room.
What do I use? Beauty?
Beauty.
How did that go?
And what do you want him to think?
No, the room.
No? What do you want the room
Yeah, what do you
to
want
think?
the room to think?
I want the room to think that this guy is too good for our town.
Yeah,
And,
right. Cool.
And also, if we get put into a position of power, he's going to turn our children against us, kind of.
Yeah.
He doesn't appreciate the salt of the earth. What did I
Yeah.
roll? I can't see
A
what I... A fool!
Oh, no.
Friend.
Plus 2!
Oh, no.
Golly.
Oh, dear.
That's a
Well, let's. Yeah. I mean, I think I think you're interpreted as being, like, just very helpful and like going along with what he's saying, right? You say like this humble town, and they're all like, he thinks that we're humble too. We'll show him humble, right?
Like, yeah, you're like they misinterpret your sarcasm. Yeah.
Yeah. You were you were sarcastic where it didn't quite land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Right.
Also, I feel like Blythe at least, just to give you an insight here, I feel like Blythe at least, maybe Charles, but possibly not, would have seen me enough times realize that I could potentially get secrets out of someone and behave strangely to know that that's my goal here.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So
that's what the winking is about.
So in that case, Blythe would definitely be like, and hearing what Charles just said, like, well, off we go. And sort of like already physically like, yep, we're going to look for the horse. I've got Charles like a meter, like 2 meters away from everyone else in the tavern, already out the door, and like already got the schoolmaster out the door, and I just give Tristan a look and a gesture for Tristan to go first.
Sure. Yep. So yeah, I think like as we walk, I'll try to like kind of walk alongside him and maybe like get a little ahead of the other two, so that we can kind of chat as we walk. Or maybe actually the other way around. Maybe I sort of like play the old man and sort of tell him, oh, I'm very sorry. I'm a little bit slow. I'd love to help you. I'm not as spry as I once was, and sort of like kind of coax him to walk at the back with me. I think is actually probably more like it. So that I can sort of just chat idly.
Yeah.
So Blythe and I are moving on ahead.
Yes.
Do we know where this Miss Kellogg's boarding house is?
Yeah. It's not necessarily it's like as much a boarding house as a bed and breakfast, right? Like it's got space for like she can take a boarder. Not
Room for
yeah, exactly. Not many. Annie Kellogg. No, we've got too many Annies. All things that sound like that.
Constance.
Winston.
Constance Kellogg. Okay, that sounds
Constance.
You've got a Winston though.
Constance Kellogg. Great.
It's done.
She is boarding. We need a name for this young man now.
We do. I wanted to look at the. What's that?
Jerkface. Putz.
Nelson.
Nelson. Excellent. I love Leafington's explained to us that Bicycle is named after St. Bicycle, patron of the Dutch.
His name is Nelson Hyde.
Great. That's a great name. Cool. And Constance Kellogg is boarding Nelson. Not like that.
Yeah. Gosh. Scandalous.
I feel like somewhere in here would be like around here somewhere.
Yep.
Let's.
Yep. Sounds good.
No, I want a polygon. I want grey. Let's just chuck a little thing in here for like.
I feel like I'm walking really fast and forcing Charles to keep up with me.
Yep.
And I think when we're a good bit, like we've put enough distance between Charles and I have put enough distance with Tristan and Nelson that they can't really hear us anymore. I sort of say to Charles, if somebody has taken this man's horse, we can look for it, but we shouldn't really find it, if you know what I'm getting at.
Absolutely.
Good.
I mean, I guess the question is who took it and why, but perhaps that's a question for another day.
Let's see what we can see without looking too hard.
Cool. So yeah, what? Are you talking to Nelson?
Yeah. So I think I sort of put on my my harmless old man sea dog charm and sort of start to ask him general questions. Because we've established where he last saw the horse. So like as we're walking, I think I start by asking him about bicycle. Start saying, is how long have you had this horse? And sort of, because it seems to be a creature that he's quite like fond of. So I want to try and draw out his kind of emotions by asking him about the horse.
Bicycle is a dearly beloved beast. He was given to me by my aunt as congratulations for my first role, my first position here in Catherine by the Sea. I've recently graduated, and things are a little bit strange here, and it's so nice to have a reliable friend in a beast of burden. I'm so very worried about him.
Yes, I can't say I've ever had a friend in a horse. It's all too much land for me, but I can understand a friend in a ship, and maybe that's a little similar. And I think I then sort of like ask him like how he is finding living here and his new job. And I think I'd like to make my move if we feel like it is appropriate.
May your rolls be better than mine.
Yeah, thank you. So I roll plus beauty, don't I? All right. Oh, dang. Is that... Oh, hang on. No, wait. Ugh, 6.
Yeah.
Curses.
No, sorry.
Damn. All right.
Yeah. Unless no one's really helping you with this.
Well, actually, no. I argue that Blythe is absolutely helping me. Blythe knows exactly what I'm doing and has been like moving.
That's true. Yeah, specifically like setting this up.
Create the yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
I will definitely try and assist.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I need to
How do I roll plus
To help or hinder?
for our, because it would be plus our bond, which is 1.
Oh.
So maybe I will just roll something I have 0 and add 1. So that's a 6. Excellent. We are all rolling.
Damn
so
it! Oh no! Good try. Drag.
I mean, yeah,
okay.
he tells you about how, like he has faith that the town will warm to him. It is like it's something about God's will, and like and all those sorts of things. But mostly he's like, he's a bit sad that people seem to be a bit like wary of him, and he assumes that it's because he's like educated and from the big city. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Find out his secrets.
All right. I'm gonna skip along ahead a little bit and see if I can get a look at the I don't know, the shack or the place where you store a horse. What is that called?
Stable.
Stable.
Sure.
A stable or whatever it is that this Keller woman had.
Oh, sorry, Ash.
Track or something.
Sorry, I just went and read my move for that, and actually it says, on a miss, learn a secret anyway, but they know you for what you are. It's up to them whether they keep quiet about it. That's what it specifically says.
Oh, interesting. So, you want to know...
Which makes sense, because otherwise you could just keep trying.
Yeah. So
I like that it's like, learn a secret, and then they know what you're trying to do.
yeah, right.
It's much higher risk.
So what do you want to know a secret about specifically? Can you just...
I want to know a dark secret about this person that I can use to blackmail them.
Oh, like, I mean...
And like the obvious answer is I could find out whether he also has romantic feelings toward Winston, but I, as a player, don't want to use that for blackmail.
Yeah, exactly. That's the...
So I'd rather it not be that.
Oh. I think he knows. I think he makes accidental slip of like knowing about some like sunken treasure ship that is like off the coast of Catherine by the Sea somewhere.
Tourist.
So he might have heard of this and maybe be here.
So yeah, so he sort of says something about, you know, the when talking about the place, about the treasure, as though it were kind of common knowledge, and then seems to realize and tries to cover it up, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I get the sense that he is personally interested in that thing?
He seems to be interested in as like a it's the thing that's making up for the fact that he's not being well received. Like it wasn't his intention when he came here, but now he's like yeah.
Okay. That is good to know. That is good to know. I could use that. All right.
Well, he knows that you know.
Yeah, but he knows that I know that he knows. Exactly. Curses. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Charles, the gate to this lean-to stable is like blowing a little in the breeze. It's not a big space. It's not really meant for horses. It's meant for like donkeys and things, but it could house a horse. Yeah.
It's meant for like scooters rather than bicycles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Scooter, the donkey, is out in the field.
I'm going to have a look at the ground and see if there's any obvious tracks or a direction that the horse might have gone in.
Yeah. Right. Cool. Where am I? Basic moves. I think there is pressure here, so I think you're acting under it.
Okay.
Yep. Because I don't think this is reading a situation because it's not charged. Do you want to make it a charged situation?
How do I do that?
Melodrama.
Do something dramatic to upset someone, or
I don't know. There's kind of nobody here.
I mean, the others are like down the hill a little way.
Yeah. Well, I might charge the situation in a little bit, but I'd like to at least try and figure out where the horse has gone. So perhaps I need to read the situation now, or
Haley, what do you feel?
Like, personally, I feel like the situation is charged because of the surrounding circumstances.
Yeah, fair. Yep.
But that's just my point of view.
Yeah, I think it's charged because of Nelson's like emotional state. So yeah, you can totally read that then.
sorry, say again.
It's charged because of Nelson's emotional state, so you can read that.
Okay.
So you can read the situation, yeah.
Okay, read the situation. God, here we go.
Seven. That's not
Seven.
a failure.
A partial success.
yeah.
Well done. I'm very impressed. On a 7 to 9, you can ask 2 of the questions. Who or what is most vulnerable to me? Who or what is my biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? Who or what is in control here? What here is not what it seems? What's my best way in, way out, or way past?
So I can ask 2?
Yep.
Well, I guess what here is not what it seems would be my first question.
Okay. Yeah, that gate. You try to like close it to stop it banging and realize that the latch is completely fucked. Like it has been forced open.
Okay. So it's not old age or weather or.
No, you can see like a piece of the because like the latch would be made out of like pig iron. And it's like and like the bit that's like snapped off of the iron is like on the ground. But there are a bunch of footprints around here, like a lot, as if there have been a lot of people walking around here in the since it last rained. So that's also unexpected, but it's pretty obvious that the latch wasn't just undone.
Yep. All right. I guess my next question is, what should I be on the lookout for?
I have to know a thing. Give me a second.
So I guess the timber of this question is kind of leading towards, where is the horse gone, or has it been led away, or has it bolted by itself, or that sort of.
Oh, I know what the answer to this one is. On the ground, I think in a bush, or like half in a bush, half in a puddle. What you thought was just like a bit of stick or wood, you realize that it's charred, and on closer inspection, there's like fabric wrapped around it, and it's like been doused in something.
Does it smell like? Oh, I'm not the one doing the investigation.
Yeah, it's a torch. It's a torch and burning pitchforks and angry villagers and kill the beast. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hide that.
Just so that we have an image, this is a roof with, and then there's a low, like a waist-high fence, and then posts holding the roof up all around it. so it's not hugely shaded from the weather. I think that's important.
Okay.
Right. Do I see you hide that? Or do you get to it before I see you?
Yes, I don't care if you see it, I just don't want Winston to see it.
Oh, well, that
No,
sounds
no.
like acting under pressure.
Okay. What do I roll against?
Balance.
I will help out.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
to distract him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see you pick it up and I just start waving at them down the hill and pointing in the opposite direction. Like, look at the door.
No,
It's
there's the horse.
the door
wait.
is open. It's open this whole time.
Yeah.
Let's see how that is.
All right.
Yes.
Whoa. Well done. Okay.
So that
yeah.
is a 2.
Finally.
Yep.
Wow, my pointing is very distracting. I'm quite a
It
tall
is
person.
so distracting.
I'm a tall person. I position myself stealthily to block the view.
So for that you falter, buckle, or break. The GM can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Yeah, I feel like you're not gonna get noticed. Like, he's not gonna notice that, but he's gonna notice you being weird. He's gonna be like, "Why is I think you slip and like fall into the mud or something." And he's like, "Why is Charles dallying in a bush?"
Yes, I think what I'm doing is I'm kind of strolling around the scene with authority, and it's a bit sort of too theatrical.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yes.
and kind of picks up on me, gesticulating at the mud and the gate and things like that. So
I try to cover by being like, because he's sort of striding around and whatever. I try to cover by being like, Charles got hurt recently. He's still recovering.
So I kind of pick myself up off the ground and say, "Look here, look, footprints and hoof prints. Clearly, someone has taken your precious bicycle."
He's like, "Oh no, oh goodness, I understand that horses are very valuable in these areas, but who would do such a thing? The word of God specifically, he goes off on like a little like thing about like, who would damn their own soul with the theft of a horse?"
My good man, now is not the time for scripture. Now is the time for action. I suggest we mount a search party.
He's like,
Black
"Of course,
space of-
that sounds like a brilliant idea." He's like, you're quite popular in town. I'm sure that you can rouse some of the villagers to help us find people, to help us find bicycle.
I will do you one better, my good man. I will rouse our ship. I shall go to the
Rare occasion.
rare occasion, and I shall get help from our fellow seamen. You, sir, you must go back to the pub, the good establishment down the road where we came from, and you must request, nay, you must demand their help.
I think the pub is called the Cod and Pickle.
The which one?
The pub is called the Cod and Pickle.
The cod.
That's very cute.
Why don't you Charles, I think we'll, the ship looking for it, I think we've got it under the control.
Yes. we don't want too many people because the thief might know
Be alerted.
we're after them. Yes, we want to.
Very good point.
We want to make sure we don't make too much noise.
Well, I suppose you're right.
Of
The
course,
ship's not
I
ready to have enough people.
should. He's like, I shall return to. I'll return to the pickle and drown my sorrows, so to speak. Obviously not with alcohol, but I'm sure there's some delicious food there. He's like, I'd ask Miss Kellogg, but she's quite distraught at all this.
About the horse.
Yeah,
About,
true.
she's like, yes, well, it's her house. I'm sure that she feels like her safety has been threatened in some way.
Maybe we should speak to her. Maybe she saw something and didn't know it was important.
He's like, certainly, if you think that will aid your investigation.
I sort of like look to the other two, like to Blythe and Charles.
I nod sagely.
Sure.
Cool. Yeah. So he I think he canters off down the hill, back towards the cotton pickle. Yeah. You'll just go knock on the door.
I think while he's out of sight, I'm like, Charles, you remember that conversation we had 5 minutes ago?
Which one? What? It's been a long 5 minutes.
Are you trying to get that boy in trouble?
Well, not so much trouble, just as much as dislike. I can't have that man running the school.
Oh, it's about that.
True. I appreciate that does not make me exactly a moral person, but
You
I don't like
realize that he might be in danger, right?
oh no, from the townsfolk.
I mean, what have you got? Like, what did you throw behind that bush? Did you think it was a bouquet?
No, it was. I'll pull it out. He's gone, right?
Yeah, he's gone.
All right. I'll pull out the torch, and so clearly they came here in the dead of night and needed something to light their way. But I'm also a little bit concerned that this was used to expedite the horse's exit from this establishment. Don't you think? I think Tristan's idea of talking to the good lady would help.
Just don't do something you regret. I'll stay out of it.
All right. What's your concern exactly? That he gets hurt?
Well, we're stuck here, and if you keep stirring up trouble, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, very well.
There's already a bit of friction between us and the town, you might have noticed.
Well, you did beat the clerk nearly to a pulp.
He doesn't live here. That's not what I'm worried about.
Mm.
He's fine anyway.
All right. Very well, I shall dial it back. Tristan, would you like to take point?
All right. Yeah, so we'll go up and knock on the door of the house.
Yep.
Constant.
Yeah, and Constance Kellogg opens the door after a minute. I think you hear someone inside saying, "Just a minute, just a minute. I've just got to put this." And you hear something like clatter, and then she's like, comes up to the door and is like peers through and is like, "Oh, you're Thorn's friend, aren't you?" "Yes, of course." Now, let me.
I just sort of like smile broadly at her and like let her try to remember.
Tyson.
I say, no, almost. Tristan. And then like tip my hat to her.
Tristan, of course. And your merry band of see fancy as. Come in. What can I do for you?
So are both of them with me?
I assume that like is Blythe not even visible? Is Blythe not just like a little way back, or what's going on?
Yeah,
Did
I'm
you
probably
hide?
still outside because I don't really care.
Yeah, fair.
All right. Yeah.
I'm probably eavesdropping.
You can stand outside a window or something.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
just looking around.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'll sort of lead Charles in and introduce him, and say, well, ma'am, we're trying to help the young schoolmaster with his horse problem. We wondered if you remembered anything about. Was it last night
It was
that the
last
horse
night,
was stolen? About last night. Anything strange, even if it doesn't seem related, it could be.
I think she like gets really pale. And she's like,
As soon as I see that, I'm like, even if it seems strange.
yeah, and she's like, I think she's like, that horse with the ridiculous name. It was quite upset last night. I heard it whinnying in the night. The young schoolmaster, he sleeps with cotton in his ears. I snore quite badly. But the horse was very upset, and I thought I heard sounds, horrible wailing sounds that I haven't heard in many years.
Wailing sounds, like a person making a noise. So,
Yeah,
like someone crying.
I don't think she quite responds. Right? She just kind of like, it's like, well, it was a very rough night's sleep. If you want to get more information, you're gonna have to roll for it.
Yeah, can I do that by? I don't think I have like space and intimacy, but can I do like read another's thoughts?
What is space and intimacy? So it's when you have space.
For the confidant thing, when you approach another in intimacy with a desire to discover their secrets, which is not what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to discover her secrets, and I don't think it's intimacy.
Yeah.
If I can,
Read her thoughts?
yeah, like
you can definitely
read
do
her
that.
thoughts. Okay, let me have a go at that. Plus brain.
Tristan, before you just do that, I'm going to tap the pocket that my hip flask is in. Do you do you think that would help?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah,
Alright,
because if she's not talking because she's too worked up, then yeah, that might help.
Yeah. So I'll pull out the hip flask and take a swig myself, and I say, you look pale, dear. Would you like a quick sniff of brandy?
Yeah, and
Tiny.
she's like, oh, that's very kind, and like greedily snatches it from your hand.
Wow. All right.
Okay, I'm going to try this, but I do have a -1, so
Yeah, but
we'll see.
You can get help from Charles for this. So.
True, that's true. All right, I might need it. Okay. Oh, it's a 7. Okay, all right.
Nice. Well
That's
done.
not too bad. So, one question. Okay. How can I get this character to talk about the whaling specifically? And yeah, like how can I get her to open up about that bit that she's avoiding?
I mean, she relaxes slightly as soon as she's got any booze in her. Getting her drunk would work. So would, and like, there's clearly like she has a sense of like conspiracy, right? Like that she's like that like you're not part of the inside group that knows about the thing, so she can't talk to you about it. There's a secret, right? That she's supposed to be keeping. If you knew about it already, then she would talk to you about it.
All right. Well, I feel like I could take a risk here, but I'm actually going to do something slightly different before I act on my feeling. So I think like I sort of take a back seat in the conversation and kind of like maybe sort of indicate for Charles to just kind of like chat with her and sort of butter her up a bit with more like calming talk and more alcohol and just sort of like, you know, sit there and kind of like nod and like stroke my beard a bit as though I'm like deep in thought about what she said, but actually I'm going to try and sense the beyond.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do it.
So
Okay.
I think I'm kind of setting the mood a little bit, and I sort of say, I'm terribly sorry, dear. I was wondering if I might lower the candlelight a little bit. It's a little bright in here.
Tristan, Sallow, you're getting helped by
I am. Okay.
by
Yes. Charles.
Charles, do you want to roll to assist? Because
I'm
she's like,
so good at this one.
she's like, oh yes, of course. She's like, I'm sure that I must have it too bright. My eyes, she says, and like indicates her cataracts. Charles Underwood.
Oh, look at that. Look at
So
that.
you've got 7, Tristan Sallow.
All right. Okay. So a 7, you receive fragments and mysteries. Okay. Well, I'm listening for a specific thing.
Which is?
I'm looking at her, and I'm trying to hear the sound of a woman crying.
Yes, and the sound of something.
Trying to, yeah, get a sense of whether she's heard that.
You hear that, and the sound of something large hitting water. From like quite a fall.
Something large hitting the. Whoa! Hang on. I'm thinking about Old Man Ryan.
A person?
Yeah, well, exactly.
It could easily be the sound of a body falling from a great height into water.
Yeah.
Perhaps
Into water. Okay.
Perhaps the search for bicycle is.
Yeah. She just pushed the horse off a cliff. No. Okay.
So she hasn't heard the wail, and I think like when she is referring to the wailing sound, it is connected to that in some way.
Okay.
She hasn't heard it for many years.
Okay. So I think I say, after a little while, I sort of like continue stroking my big beard, and I sort of say, as though I'm kind of speaking to myself, yes. Nights like last night, often there are strange sounds on the wind. I think it's something about the trees in this part of the world, and they catch the sea winds, and they seem to make a sound like someone in pain. I've heard that many times. It is a strange sound, and perhaps sometimes it's something more sinister, but and I sort of like trail off as though like I'm going to like tell a real story, but then I sort of don't, and I kind of like look at her as though and try to feign an expression of like, oh no, I've said too much.
Are you trying to influence another? It sounds like you're trying to influence another.
I think I am. Yeah, I'm terrible at it, but I'm trying. Yes. Manipulate another.
Manipulate another. You're like clear as day.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Come on. Go. Oh, God damn it.
Can I jump in and help? Seeing as you're one away.
How do you help?
How do I help? I kind of echo what she's saying. You know, like I say, "'Tis a dark night to be thinking of such things. I too hear whispers on the wind." I kind of, as makes these points, I kind of echo them back.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Roll to help.
What do I roll?
Are you rolling 2d6 plus 1? Because that's your
Yeah, because you're rolling plus the bond. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. 4.
Okay. Dang it. Come on, lady. Tell us about your spooky night noises.
Yeah, so... yeah. How GM makes the situation worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's like, well, I'm sure it's just a trick of the wind. I was just saying that I heard it last night. Christopher always says it's just a trick of the wind.
Yeah. I think I try to. I ask as innocently as I can, but it probably doesn't come across that way. Oh, Christopher, did you know him well?
He's like, and she's like, oh, well, I mean, I've spoken to him a couple of times, visiting Thorn and all that, and sometimes he's there, and he's very reassuring.
I just sort of make a non-committal noise.
And she's like, yeah, and she's like, poor Christopher. Ever since Ariadne passed, he's had such a hard time. We've all had such a hard time.
Yes, that's right. He lost his wife a few years back, didn't he?
Yes, very unfortunate. I'm sure that he's very bereaved. I'm glad to see that he's at least making friends again. He and Thorn have been getting along so well.
They have. They're a strange combination, though, don't you think?
She's like, Thorn always has had a thing for younger men, and well, Christopher doesn't need any more sons.
Nope, he's got plenty of those.
Are we finished with our conversation? Because I feel like this is a good place to
Yeah,
pick
I
up.
reckon.
Like we can, we can take
Yep.
our first
Sounds
break
good.
for the night.
Yeah, I think we're not gonna get her to talk about the thing, so we'll have to go somewhere else for that information.
Yep. All right, we'll be back in a minute, chat. Bye.